Liam Crowley of WrestlingInc.com here, joined by the man who doesn't get hype, he stays hype, the winner of the 2017 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the star of the summer blockbuster Snake Eyes, the former Mojo Rawley, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Buddy, what an introduction. I would have came in just for that intro alone.
There we go.
Baby. I like it.
Thank you. Hey, I was rehearsing all morning, so thank you for the love. I appreciate it. But let's start by chatting what got us connected here today. You've partnered with Pepsi to get football fans game day ready, and that always starts with a good meal, as we know. So I've got to ask, what does a Mojo Muhtadi game day plate look like?
Oh man, baby, it's a good one. It's a big one too. I mean, of course, I like to have a little bit of everything. I'm a big guy. I stack the plate pretty high, but my go-to dry rub chicken wings, man. I can't have the mess of the ones with the sauce. I like to keep it tight because I get crazy at a tailgate, man. I'm out there, I'm hyped up, I do wild things. So got to have clean fingers with it. That's my move. And of course, boom, baby, not one Pepsi, but a whole box of them. Rolling deep.
I love it. So you're ready for Sunday. I'm absolutely ecstatic. But let's also talk about what you're doing outside of your partnerships with the NFL and Pepsi and all that. Since departing WWE, you've been very busy with projects away from the squared circle. And as a big G.I. Joe fan myself, it was really cool to see you pop up in Snake Eyes. That said, fans are curious about your pro wrestling future. Can we expect to see Mojo Muhtadi in a ring soon, or is Hollywood the focus right now?
I will be back in a ring at some point. That is most definitely the plan. It's just not going to be right away. I put 9 years in with WWE. That was our thing, with WWE, you wrestle and that's all you got time for. You can't really do anything else. I couldn't have this partnership with Pepsi that I have now, which has been amazing. I couldn't have other gigs. I couldn't really do other movies or TV shows. It would be very rare when someone gets a role. So right now, I just wanted to take some time off, expand my name, try some new things, do some things while I'm still young that might not be available later, and just kind of hit the ground running. So when I do come back to wrestling, it's the right way. I've showed the world and the wrestling world what I'm capable of and what I can do, and, kind of upping the game from there, man. Sometimes you need to step away a bit to up your stock and come back when the time is right.
I absolutely hear that. And in terms of Hollywood, I do want to ask you a quick follow-up question. So many pro wrestlers are making the transition into comic book movies. We just saw it with John Cena. Dave Bautista's played Drax for many movies in the Marvel universe. The Rock's playing Black Adam next year. If Mojo Muhtadi were to step into a comic book role, are there any that you have your eye on?
Man, I always thought like with the energy and the nonstop, the Flash could be good, but I'm too big to play the Flash. It's not the same. It's not the same character. I mean, of course it's acted, so we can do whatever. But I don't know, man. Honestly, of course you want to say it's Superman. I always look at myself as Superman. I got all the assets and tools, and I'm the man. So in my mind, I could pull it off. But really, I've always said I would love to be in a superhero movie. I just have to find the right spot, the right role, and make sure we're making the right move on that. But yes, that would be incredible. You read my mind on that one. That would be a dream come true. I'd love to get it rocking, but I don't know, man. It's hard to pick just one,
For sure. It's a tough choice for sure. But I want to shift things back over to WWE a little bit. When you were with the company, you did a lot of work as an ambassador in Saudi Arabia. And with WWE returning to Saudi Arabia later this fall, talk is high about Crown Jewel, about the Super Showdown, Greatest Royal Rumble, all the events they've run over there. I just want to ask, how was your experience working those shows overseas?
I loved them. For me, my family's Arab. I come from an Arab family. So Saudi Arabia is actually where my mom and my dad met, where they got engaged. The majority of his family is in Saudi Arabia, living there right now. So my first show in Saudi was unbelievable. I got to see, my uncle and my cousins I hadn't seen since I was a little kid. I got to meet their kids who I'd never met before. So it was like a big homecoming, family reunion kind of thing. And then they got to see, Mojo in the ring after, some of them hadn't seen me since I was a little kid. So to kind of create that kind of experience with your family was, that was the best part about being a professional wrestler, about being in the WWE for me was moments like that. So those shows were always just ones that I held very near and dear to me, that were very special to me. And, of course, that's also, one of my favorite kinds of food in the world. So we get over there. The catering was incredible. The hotels, the accommodations were so luxurious. It was just perfect for me. I love them. I'm going to miss those shows until later for sure.
We got to bring that Middle Eastern food to the Pepsi tailgates. I feel like that's a partnership made in heaven.
This is the move. This is the move, right? For sure. An ice cold Pepsi and some hummus, some baba ganoush, some water enum, like a lot of it.
I love it. I love it. When you were in WWE, excuse me, you've had so many career highlights. Obviously, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal sticks out. But one that didn't really get a lot of momentum on the main roster, but did get some shine in NXT, was your Hype Bros partnership with Zack Ryder. The former Zack Ryder, now Matt Cardona, has seen tremendous success on the indie scene. And I do know you said you will get back in the ring eventually. So I'm just curious, would a Hype Bros reunion be in the cards for you down the line?
Whew. Oh boy. I've thought a lot about that. And it's like, is it a reunion or are we reigniting the rivalry is the question. We got some unfinished business, Zach and I, and I think that tag team was interesting because it was put together for us. Neither of us wanted to do it at the time. I think we're both grateful for the time and the opportunity we had together, of course. We saw that team going polar opposite ways. Zack wanted to focus on being, like wrestlers in the ring. And I wanted to, really ramp up the entertainment side of it. And we were like just real life polar opposites. And I think we probably should have shined that up a little bit more than kind of being two guys who are more or less the same, like two hyped up bros, with one just being a little more bro and one being a little more hyped. Like, if we would have played our real life experiences out on TV, I promise you, it would have been gold. I mean, the scripts were writing themselves every week. I mean, literally just throw a writer in the back seat and let us travel show to show together, and the stuff would have written itself. You got to think when I come out of this thing and return to the ring, he's got to be one of my initial targets, no question. Again, we'll just have to see whether we, reunite the team or reignite the rivalry.
If he does end up being a target, it might get pretty violent because I don't know if you've seen, but he's kind of the deathmatch king these days. He's fighting some pretty violent matches.
Yeah, I texted him. I was like, bro, where was this guy when we were tagging together? This is what I was trying to get out of you every week. And then, sometimes exactly why, sometimes it's good to leave the company. He probably didn't think he had that in him. I could bet money on that. I mean, he's shown the world a lot of great things about himself, and things that people wouldn't have seen. I mean, he was always kind of like the pretty boy, more worried about his hair and his sunglasses and doing this stupid thing than, like being hardcore and a bruiser in the ring. And then now look at him. Like, the things he's done recently have been incredible. So, yeah, hats off to him for sure.
Yeah, when you do return to the ring, as we mentioned with the Hype Bros and everything else going on, there's not going to be any shortage of opportunities. And a big reason for that is the rise of AEW. It's the hottest promotion on the block right now. And ever since they signed, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, chatter has been commanded by AEW headlines. So I do want to ask, have you been keeping up with the AEW product? And what do you think about their new acquisitions?
Absolutely. I love it. I love what they're doing over there. And I think it's amazing for the industry in general. I mean, you need competition to make you better. You need a competitor stepping up, like AEW. So the guys over at WWE kind of feel the fire up on them, under them, and, kind of escalate their game. It's been great, and now, probably my favorite thing about it is now you got another viable, business out there, another viable promotion for guys to go to. It's not really, I mean, of course you had New Japan and Impact and Ring of Honor and all, but it's another big player in the game for people to go to, for people to aspire to go to, and they're doing things differently, and the talent they're getting over there have been awesome. I think they got a great combination of, creating their own stars. I mean, they got some guys over there that are wildly entertaining to watch, and kind of capturing the top free market or free agents in the game, and bringing them all together, and it's going well for them. So I'm just thrilled to see how well they're doing. They're killing it. They're dominating right now, and I think it's good for everybody.
Yeah, it's wild to watch. I do want to wrap up with one final question, going back to WWE a little bit. They are reportedly shifting away from signing the traditional pro wrestlers and moving more towards guys with athletic backgrounds, not unlike yourself when you were first signed a decade ago. Do you think that this focus is going to be beneficial for WWE going forward?
You know, I don't know if I would call it a focus being the right word here. I honestly do think you need both. You know, you can't have a locker room full of guys like me that came in with zero experience and no pros to to build them up and show them the ropes and kind of train them on the job. But at the same time, you can't have a locker room full of just guys that only grew up on the indies, because I know from my experience there's a lot of those guys that just didn't have the real world experience of kind of life, being out in sports, or strongman stuff like a Braun Strowman, or coming in from acting or television or all these different areas of life, because they grew up in the wrestling bubble and that's all they know. So like, you need everybody coming together to play off of each other's strengths and wonder. It's almost like when the UFC first started and everyone wanted to see which discipline was going to be the best. You kind of create that competition, and it just allows everybody to grow, because again, the guys coming in from outside markets, of course, they're not going to be nearly as good as the guys in ring that have been doing this for a long time. I mean, it's going to take them years to get to that point, but they're commanding an audience that those wrestling guys can't get to. They can't attain, because you come from the NFL, now you're bringing in the NFL fans. They want to see how this football player is going to do in a wrestling ring, and everybody, if they don't watch wrestling now, they used to at some point, so they're going to be kind of some level of curious, whether it's an actor coming in, or let's again, the strongman thing, let's see how that guy's going to do when speed and stamina are now a factor and he's just not throwing heavy weights around. Like, you just pull together all these different lifestyles, and that's what makes it exciting, and that's what makes people wanting to watch, is kind of the diversity of the whole company and having it all pulled together to, again, compile resources.
Mojo, thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people find you on socials, and what can people expect from your Pepsi partnership this weekend?
Well, on social, it's at Mojo on Instagram. I'm so grateful I got that handle. At Twitter, at Mojo Muhtadi. And the partnership with Pepsi is just going to be fun. That's the name of the game. They're doing a lot to give back to the community, to do everything to kind of help feed people and donate to the charities and everything, which has been probably my favorite part about this partnership, to be honest with you. But just, getting everybody back at tailgates and firing this thing up and bringing the fun. So it's been an awesome partnership for me. Again, it's one that I'm grateful to be a part of. And again, the benefits of life after WWE, but there's a lot more to come. You'll see a lot more with us coming out as we get this thing rocking and season starts to progress. But it's been good for a step one with the partnership, where we're airing it out there. So we're excited about it.
Well, we're all looking forward to your future. Mojo, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us. This is great.